everyone, my name is Refi Marsita, and in this opportunity, I will analyze a poetry. The poetry that I will analyze is by Emily Dickinson with the title, There is Another Sky. So, here is the poetry. This poetry, There is Another Sky, is a 14-line sonnet that is contained within a single stanza of a text. In this video, I will analyze 6 points. The first one is Meet the Poem. In this section, I will analyze the title of the poem. The second is Read the poem closely and carefully. In this section, I will read aloud the poem and then I will try to circle or underline the important words of the poem and try to find the meaning behind it. The third is rhyme. So in here, I will analyze the rhyme scheme of this poem. The fourth is the mood. In this part, I will analyze the mood that is used of this poem. The fifth is interpretation. In here, I will interpret the meaning of the poem by analyzing it. And the last one is make the poem your own. In here, I will choose one of my favorite lines from the poem and giving reason of it. The first is Meet the Poem. From the title, There is Another Sky, I can see the main point that focus in here is the sky. The sky is mainly referred to the imaginative world from the perspective of the poet, and here, the sky is being compared to an evergreen garden. Next is read the poem closely and carefully. There is Another Sky by Emily Dickinson. There is another sky, ever serene and fair, and there is another sunshine, though it be darkness there. Never mind faded forests, Austin. Never mind silent fields. Here is a little forest whose leaf is evergreen. Here is a brighter garden where not a frost has been. In its unfading flowers I hear the bright bee hum. Pretty, my brother, into my garden come. After I read the poem, I will try to analyze the poem line by line by find a word that has another meaning. I will analyze the first to the sixth line. In the first line, there is another sky. I already underlined it, and also the fourth line, darkness, and 5 to 6 line. The first line, there is another sky. This line is also the title. It's a figurative language, which is metaphor, because this line indicating a new world with a better expectation. The next is darkness. Darkness here indicating the feeling of emptiness, because as we can see from the line before, there is another sunshine, though it be darkness here. The sunshine usually referred to something bright, but here it can be darkness, so it may be the empty feeling on it because of its dark. And also in the 5 and 6 lines, never mind, it's also one of the figurative language, which is repetition, because it's repeating the same word and usually used for musical and rhythmical touch. And next, I will continue to analyze the 7th till the last line, which is the 14th line. I already underlined the 8th line, whose leaf is evergreen, the 11th line, unfading flowers, 9th line, bright bee, and hum. Whose leaf is evergreen is a figurative language, which is hyperbole because it's overstate the leaf. The line states that the leaf is forever green, while in the real life, there is no leaf in nature which can stand green forever. The next is unfading flowers. This is also figurative language, which is hyperbole. because it's overstatement the flowers, and we know that every flowers will fade by time. The next is break B. This is alliteration because the phonetic sound here is being repeated. The B break and the B is being repeated to create musical effect. And the last one is whom. Whom here is onomatopoeia that used to indicate the sound of the B. Next is rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme means the pattern of rhymes at the end of the lines of a poem. Now, I will analyze the first and second rhyme scheme. The first is sky and the second is fear. Sky and fear has a different pronunciation, so here let's give sky A and fear as a B. Now the third and the fourth line. The third line is sunshine and the fourth is there. Sunshine don't have the same pronunciation as the previous line, and there has the same pronunciation with fear, which is in the second line. So in the third line we will give it C, and the fourth line we will give it B. And then the rest of the line will be analyzed with the same way. And this is the rhyme scheme of this poem. The rhyme scheme of this poem is ABCB, CDAC, FCGH, Next is the mood. The mood describes about the tone and also the feeling that the poet used in the poem. In this poem, the moods are inspirational, encouraging, and pleading. Because in here, the poet is trying to persuade her brother to coming back home and pleads her brother in the poem. She still have the encouragement to persuade her brother and being inspirational by saying that there is still another sky. The next is interpretation. Interpretation is a complex process of giving analysis to all aspects and characteristics of the language that used in the poem by figuring out the meaning. From the poem with the title There is Another Sky, the poet mainly trying to convince Austin, who is called as her brother, to come back by telling her brother the stories of home that compared as a sky. In the first line, there is another sky, it's a metaphor that means there is still another place that refers to her brother. The poet is trying to make the image of home as something special, even though there are some of the situations that difference. A home will always be home. She wants to tell her brother that there might be darkness and some flowers may wither. But at their house, there will always be a sunshine and the flowers that are forever blooming in the garden. The poem ended with the line, "Into my garden come." It mainly about the poet inviting her brother and reminding him that their home will always be his home, and she really hoped that her brother will come back to their home. And the last is, make the poem your own. From the poem, There is Another Sky, my favorite line is in the first line, There is Another Sky. This is also the title of this poem, and I like this line because from that line I can conclude that there is always another sky when the sky here can be another place or another change with its different expectation and different situation. Okay, that's all about my analysis of the poem with the title There is Another Sky by Emily Dickinson. I'm sorry if there is any mistakes, and thank you so much for watching my video.